Madam, it will really be a privilege to know that India would really be the first country in the world to set up such an extensive network of specialized environment courts. I can say this with all the emphasis at my command that no country in the world has the type of framework that we are proposing to put in place through the National Green Tribunal. What will the National Green Tribunal do? It would empower the ordinary citizen of India to ensure that the laws relating to environment and forests are implemented for his or her own benefit. If I remember right, in the earlier government, we had the Right to Information and the Right to Employment Acts. Subsequently, we had the Right to Education Act. Now, this will be the Right to Environment Act. Of course, we will have the right to food security later. But when the National Green Tribunal becomes a law, it will guarantee to every citizen of India the right to a safe and clean environment. There are 7 major laws in the country that relate to environment and forests, 2 relating to water pollution, 1 relating to air pollution. The main are the Environment Protection Act, the Forest Conservation Act, the Biological Diversity Act, and so on. What do they do? Any citizen of India, either directly or indirectly, can approach the National Green Tribunal for civil damages. We have defined in the law what is meant by a substantial question of the environment. If anybody is aggrieved, if anybody is adversely affected by the non-implementation of laws relating to environment and forests, he or she can approach the National Green Tribunal for civil damages. This is a major historic step forward in our country. Madam, the first historic step that was taken in the field of environment was the Forest Conservation Act of 1980 under the leadership of late Shrimati Indira Gandhi. Then we had the unfortunate Bhopal gas tragedy of 1984, which led to Parliament enacting the Environment Protection Act. 24 years later, Parliament has enacted a third historic legislation, which is the National Green Tribunal legislation. What the National Green Tribunal will be? There will be one main bench and there will be 4 other benches. So there will be 5 benches of the National Green Tribunal in different parts of the country. They will have up to 20 judicial members. They will have experts relating to environment as its members. They will function in a circuit mode so that access to justice will be easy and convenient for all citizens of the country. The idea is to put pressure on the central government and the state governments to ensure that the laws of the land that relate to environment and forests are implemented in letter and spirit. If they are not implemented in the wisdom of the tribunal, civil damages can be claimed by the aggrieved citizen. For example, today environment is beginning to have public health impact in many parts of the country. So many types of diseases are on the increase. In many parts of India, the incidence of cancer has come into force, and experts believe that this is because of pollution. This is because of the manner we approach the National Green Tribunal and claim civil damages for hurt that has been caused by the non-implementation of laws relating to environment and forests. Madam, this bill was brought in 2009. The Standing Committee gave its report in that year itself. Today, we are discussing the bill in the Lok Sabha. I think the manner and the speed with which we have moved demonstrates our commitment, demonstrates our determination to ensure that the laws are implemented. The Standing Committee had made 12 recommendations. We have accepted 10 recommendations. Only 2 recommendations have not been accepted. One is about giving the power of contempt to the tribunal. It is too early to give that type of powers to the tribunal. Perhaps we could consider it at a late stage. The second recommendation which we have not accepted is relating to the schedule which will form part of the National Green Tribunal. However, I assured all the honorable members that before we delete any law or before we add any law, we will place a draft notification on the table of the Parliament, and only after the Parliament finally approves that notification, we will add or subtract that from the laws which will be under the purview of the National Green Tribunal. Sir, I would like to state here that more than 20 honorable members have presented their views. Broadly, the idea of having a National Green Tribunal has been supported. There have been some criticisms in respect of many of the provisions of the bill, which I will respond to as quickly as possible. Before I respond to the criticisms, I would like to mention that the National Green Tribunal Bill is one element of a revised and a reformed or a restructured approach to environmental governance.